What is going on, everybody? Sorry. Give me 2 seconds. We're going to get started here. How is everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hopefully everybody, let me open up this. Let's dive into it. So it is Tuesday, January 18th here on the East Coast. And yeah, hopefully everybody had a good start of the week. Yesterday being a US holiday, I really didn't do much, tied up with some volleyball stuff anyway. And now we're looking at start of the week. Already had some really good plays last week. I'm going to kind of go through some of the stuff that we caught last week and kind of looking at what we're looking at for this week, both on the Forex side, some indices side, commodities, and of course, some crypto. So if you guys are looking at anything, throw it in the chat. We'll dive into it and go from there. Alrighty. Looking at the calendar, man, there's just not a lot that I want to get into. It's kind of dismal. The only thing really that I'm going to be preparing for is going to be tomorrow night, sitting right here on the Australian jobs report. So we might see some, at least a cause to get some of the Australian pairs up. You're looking for UCAD buys? Ooh, all right. Throw the chart in there, man. Give me your thought on UCAD buys, because yeah, UCAD is not on my list this week, but yeah, I'll take a look at it. So yeah, that's really the Australian dollar there is the only thing that I'm going to be looking at for this week. So we'll see how it kind of plays out. Jumping over to TradingView, let's dive into it. I'm going to try and be pretty quick tonight. I don't want to be on here for 2 hours just because I'm starving. So I've been going nonstop. I had to cover a go live session for Zach tonight, and yeah, that was like prime dinner time for me. So I am a little hungry. So we'll dive into it. We'll get everybody's questions answered. We'll get into some of the moves, and then hopefully everybody will be good. So going through pretty much what I'm holding, last week, the big plays were GU. I don't know if many of you guys got into GU, but GU was a really nice play last week, Friday New York session. It came in. So, it was just a matter of just being patient and waiting. This whole move, this accumulation took, almost 600 pips. 600 pips. You caught this last night. So, okay. So tell me, what's your point of interest? What's the reason for the buy? And what was your R to R? Yeah, we'll take a look at UCAD, man. I'm honestly yeah, but what's okay? Yeah. Throw me a higher time frame. Show me your structure on UCAD. I'm curious to see what your bias on it is. All right. So anyway, GU, I'm pretty much, I'll tell you right off the bat, everything JPY, I'm looking for buys, right? I am looking for USDJPY buys. I am looking for USD Swiss franc buys, and EU and GU sells is what I'm looking for. And of course, ACAD and NCAD sells as well. And if it's right, if the R to R is right, if everything's lined up, the stars align, the lunar phases kind of hit the right tidal marks, maybe a GA and GN buy as well. It was only a 1 to 5. Okay. All right. Yeah. We'll take a look at it. I mean, yeah, for me to put risk on, a 1 to 5 doesn't qualify on Forex pairs for me, just because in order for me to put risk, it's got to be worth it. So, but we'll take a look at UCAD, man. Yeah. Anyway, so 600 pips, man, this took forever. Took, I mean, we were here in November. So this was early stage of November. So almost 2 full months it took for this sucker to come all the way back. And, ideally what I was looking for, I wanted to see a sell in this area of distribution. And we got it, right? Price came in Friday morning, gave a pretty clean distribution. You jumped down on the 1 minute, and this was the move that we caught. So, you can see that price comes in on the 13th, gives a distribution pre-New York, right in the heart of London session. Nothing I want to play out of, right? This is just a type 2 schematic. And the type 2 at this point really hasn't done anything. You can see, you could see the type 2 as this with just some ice. You could see it as these points in here. However you want to look at it. To me, it's just not something I was going to put risk on. And then of course we get another schematic, right? We get 1, 2, 3, 4 drives. Now, when we break the UTAD, when we break this, had price come right back up, I would have taken the trade. All right. But it doesn't. So instead, when it doesn't, what I need to see now is I need to see price invalidate some Asian lows. And I ultimately want to take out all of demand. So everything from here that created that high, I want to take out. And we finally get it right there. So when price does that at the end of New York session on Thursday, we get that. So it was a pretty clean entry for me after that. All I did was I took this move right here, measured it out. You could see red line is 80, blue line is the 50, kind of right in my wheelhouse of where I wanted to sell out of this type 1. So set the limit before I went to bed. And right at maybe about, 48 minutes past London session open, we get the pop. So price gave a pop right in here. Now, it wasn't the cleanest entry, 6.7 pips with about an 8 pip spread on GU on most of my brokers. Not the cleanest. What happened afterwards is if you were up during London session, you caught some really good continuation plays, right? So you have the distribution, right? And what does price do? Price breaks the low, gives an accumulation. That accumulation turns into what? A redistribution. So this now is my focal point. So you could see how this kind of played out. We measure out the entire move. Price comes back into 50%. I was really hoping it was going to come into the 80. Does not tap the 80, just kind of flutters around at the 50 and then drops. And then what do we see again? Same thing, right? Let me move this back over. Let me just move this off of the seconds time frame. There we go. And then what do we see again? We see continuation moves. So if you miss the first move, just play continuation moves, right? I mean, you could see accumulation, right? 1, 2, 3, spring, ice, shakeout, and drop. So now I'd be looking to play out of this, right? I'd be continuing to play the continuation move over and over and over again, especially in a bearish market, right? GU for me is extremely bearish. And you could see what happened, right? We could see that price, actually, hold on, let me pause it. You could see what happened. Price comes right back smack dab into our 50% of our redistribution, right? Here's your redistro. Price taps right back into 50%, gives a super clean entry. And then what do we have again? A redistribution, right? So I'd be playing out of this right here, right? I'd be playing out of that move right there, just getting the price to come back to at least 50%. Right, 50% of this move, unfortunately, and you could see I had it lined up. We never saw it after that. So those of us that did catch GU on Friday morning, right, out of that limit order, it's looking pretty good. I mean, we are sitting, where's the sucker sitting at? This is sitting at about 150 pips in profit, close to about a 1 to 22. So really, really nice. Yeah, there were so many reentry opportunities. All you had to do is just sit there and just play the redistros, right? If you miss the test of the distro, right? What I typically do, and again, everyone is different. What I typically do, if I miss the entry, play the continuation moves, just reduce your risk. If I'm going to risk, 0.25%, cut it in half and play the redistros. You don't need a set, especially on a really small stop loss. You don't need to set huge orders on there. Listen, I mean, I know me included, I know people that risked $50 on a 100K account and passed an FTMO challenge with one trade. So, you don't need to put a lot of risk into it. Okay. LPSY. Yeah. An LPSY entry. Last point of supply. Yep. Okay. So anyway, what am I looking for on GU? Well, listen, I mean, this thing, we've got our sign of weakness. We're in our lower time frame extreme. Now it's just a matter of wait for price action to give us another reentry. Where I'm specifically going to be looking let me hide the drawings for a second. Where I'm going to specifically be looking is this is the last unmitigated price action, right? You could see everything in here was evenly traded. So this is going to be my first area that I'm going to be looking at. And of course, if we come back into the redistribution here, I'm going to be taking a look as well. So the reason I'm looking at both of these is this was the first area of demand that major demand out of reaccumulation that we took out. So I want to see if GU can kind of get up and get us into some premium pricing. Now, we are in a bearish market. I don't care if we don't get back up here. What I'm going to play is the continuation move. So if for some reason, London session, you can see the accumulation already happening down here. Say we do something like this and we pop up here, we give a shakeout, that shakeout breaks through the ice. I'm now going to be looking to play out of this, right? So that's essentially how I'm going to be looking at it. All right. I don't mind playing order flow on GU because, like I said, we are in a bearish market, right? I have no problem with that. So GU, really clean play. I'm pretty happy with it. I've taken already the partials I wanted to take off the first two go rounds. I've already taken my partials, and now it's just a matter of what do we do after this. So again, we're either going to come up. Okay. All righty. So yeah, I'm going to be waiting for price to either redistribute or play back into some premium pricing. So that was GU. US dollar Swiss franc was the other one, right? I know if you guys have been on the sessions since November, I have been talking about US dollar Swiss franc quite a bit for buys, right? And when we look at what price is done, let me just hide the drawings for a second. So in a nutshell, right, what do we have? We have demand. Demand causes a high. That high shows a distribution into an accumulation, which ultimately creates a new high, right? So we know that this is now maintaining lower time frame structure. Out of lower time frame structure, we see the distribution again, price accumulating inside an area of demand, ultimately making a new high. So this maintains our lower time frame structure. Out of that lower time frame structure, I said last week and I said the week before, I had a limit order off of that 14-minute candle, right? 14-minute candle is where I had my limit order. I liked the 14-minute 80% because it lined up with the 50% of the 3-minute, right? So really clean accumulation. And you could see it right in there. Super, super clean accumulation in here. Specifically, when we look at this spring candle, right? When we look at the spring candle, we can see that price has traded past the 50%, accumulated in here, causing a new high. This is what I wanted to play into. And of course, like I said, it's 50% of the 3-minute candle. There's your 3-minute, really clean reaccumulation that happens in there. So I was really, really big on taking this entry, especially when we see that price hadn't created a new high. So fast forward to where price did come into, and this was the response, right? We could see price tapping me in right here, obviously making a new high, reducing the risk. It was a 1.7 pip stop. So really, really clean entry. And then, kind of just sitting there watching it, what it did, and ultimately looking to see what happens afterwards. On the lower time frame, you can see we had really clean, one drive. Now this kind of gave me a little hesitation to count that as a 2 drive. I wouldn't have played anything out of it, but you have your 1, 2, 3, and then your 4. And believe it or not, now this happened during Asian session, but if I go ahead and measure out this move right here, right? This move right here, the spring, you can see that this is the 80%. So what do you think happened? Of course, price comes right back. Now, I didn't take this entry. It happened during Asian, so it's against my trading plan. I can't take that entry. And you can see, what do we just do? We just had that, essentially we had that sense of reaccumulation kind of playing out. Orders are getting filled, but we are still within the same order flow because we haven't broken any high yet. All right, let me just fast forward. Otherwise, we'll be here all night with US dollar Swiss franc. This thing moves as slow as a slug. All right, there we go. So like I said, what are we looking for? We're looking for price to mitigate out of here, right? Mitigating out of here. So we ultimately can see price showing signs of distribution, right? You have your distro, you have a creek, right? And we have our, alas, our 80%, right? So here's our 80% price coming in, and look how price does this, right? Look at that accumulation and notice we tap right into the 80%. So out of this 80%, everybody should see that this is a type 1 schematic, right? Let's go 15 second. And that's what a 15-second looks like right there. Okay. So really clean. Look at on the line chart, you know, yeah, you've got a super clean schematic. So out of that, what do? Just measure your spring, right? Here's your spring candle, right? Here's 80%. And again, I did not take this. This happened like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was sound asleep. So we get our sign of strength and there she goes, right? Why do I like the 80%? Because price likes that 80. This would have been, I don't even know what this would have been. I think it was like a 0.6 pip stop. Yeah, 0.6 pip stop. So that's what she was. Now, how did I get into this second trade? Well, the second trade for me came in when we started to show signs of reaccumulation, right? So if I missed the first trade, play the reaccumulation. So what do I need to wait for? I need to wait for us to make a new high. You could see what is price doing in here. Boom, we just made the new high. New high was made. We know that this is the mitigation of here. We know that we make this on an order flow high. We know that we come back into demand. So this is where I'm looking, right? This is what I want to come back into. Blue line is 50%. Red line is 80% of it. So I split the order. And of course, instead of giving me the 0.6 pip stop down here, the market decided they wanted to give me some ridiculous like 8 pip stop loss off that 50, because that's what it was. 7.5 pips plus the half pip spread. Price does come in, does tap it right during the heart of New York session on Friday. And look at the distro, right? The distro is just the reason for price to tap back in here, right? So we have a distribution, we have price that taps into our 50, and now we confirm a reaccumulation right there, right? So right at that point, reaccumulation, all right? Obviously, what do? We have price that has already mitigated. So now I would be looking for price to come back into this, right? And, you know, unfortunately for me, price decided not to play nice, right? Price just takes off, makes a new high, never coming back into where I wanted to take an entry from. So it did come back into the 50%. You can see I had the 50% marked up out of the high and low. But I was already in one trade that was about 8 pips. I did not want to get into another trade that was 7 pips. I would have wanted, you know, the 3 pip 80% is what I was waiting on. So unfortunately, I did not get into a second entry or a third entry into it. I just allowed it to play out. And then that's how we kind of just stopped with US dollar Swiss franc on Friday. You know, you can see price has done a really good job. It's sitting, for me personally, it's sitting at a 1 to 47 and a 1 to 9.5 off both of these entries. I did take partials. I took some partials when we broke this high right up here at 91.50. I took some partials, and you could kind of see what my thought process. I wanted to see us come back and mitigate this today and then make a new high. And unfortunately, we just haven't seen that. So for me, I'm still looking for buys in US dollar Swiss franc. I just haven't had really a reason to get into it yet. I'm going to be waiting for price to give me, you know, some kind of indication, you know, okay, yeah, you know, dive into it on here or something like that. But we'll see how it goes. At the least, what I'm going to be looking for is continuation plays. So, you know, ideally, maybe we get a distro that confirms a reaccumulation. I'll just play the order flow on it, right? I'll look for continuation move to go higher, something along those lines. All right. That was US dollar Swiss franc on Friday. And then of course, UJ, man, UJ was a beast. So UJ, I know many of you guys have remembered that I said I was waiting for what? I was waiting for us to come back into either the slingshot or the extreme, right? That's that's ideally what I wanted to see, right? And you know, it took a while, right? It took I think better part of like 50 days, but you know, from this high down to where I finally got an entry, 51 days is what it took. Fast forward to Friday, though, we wanted to see price come into that area of demand. So Friday, New York session coming down. If you don't have the seconds time frame, here's what she looked like, right? She looked just like this on the 1 minute, right? That's it right there. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 drives, right? Hopefully everybody can see that. You know, now seconds time frame, way cleaner, right? Way cleaner seconds time frame. So what we saw was, there we go. What we saw was this, of course, how I played it right out of the spring, right? Here's the 50% mark. Now, the reason I really like the 50%, look at that beautiful imbalance sitting right in here. So, you know, took it off the 50. It was like a 3.5 pip stop, super clean entry. As soon as we get that reaction, reduce my risk, and off to the races this thing went, right? I mean, you could see reaccumulation, pop, and price just continuing to reaccumulate and reaccumulate. So overall, this ends up going like 150 pips so far. Where I partialed out, I paid myself what I risked on this trade right when we broke the 114 mark at a 1 to 14 actually. Do you take the 500 level into yeah. I mean, but it's not just the 500 level. It's, you know, if in this case here, I went to the whole number just because this is what I wanted to see supply take out. So yeah. What do you mean? As far as like the entry? No, I could care less about the entry, man. Yeah. For me, it's there's a specific entry that I'm looking at. Yeah. I'm not going to go to, if my entry is at 5.7, I'm not going to go to 5.0, right? I'm not going to go to the 500 level when I know that the entry is going to be 5.7. So my take profits are going to be off quarter theory, not my entries. So, yeah, so I took partials up here and, you know, ideally, you could see market early this morning came up for 150 pips for a 1 to 44. You know, I ended up securing, I had another partial out at 115. So that partial's been taken. And now what I'm going to be waiting for is continuation move. Ideally, I'd like to see it kind of just trade lower, coming back into this so that I can take another entry up. If it doesn't give me that, listen, play the continuation play, right? You can already kind of see this is probably going to be a reaccumulation. So if we do end up reaccumulating here, price coming back into demand, I'll be looking for the schematic to ride her up. Okay. Overall, where's my target? Just like US dollar Swiss franc, I'm looking to make a new high, right? So, you know, 116,500 area, 400 area is going to be where I'm going to be taking my next set of partials. And then look at the higher time frame, right? Like, what are we looking to do? Well, I mean, I want to take out this high up here, right? This is what I want to target. I want to get up above 120. So if we can see that, great. I'm just going to be looking for the continuation move. What's the my perspective on SPX 500? I mean, it's still bullish. Yeah, it's still bullish. I mean, I haven't seen, I probably haven't taken a trade on it since maybe last week, maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. Yeah, today didn't give me any kind of entry that I wanted to take on it. So, okay. So that was US dollar JPY. The only, actually that was it. That was the only other thing. I know a couple of the guys did end up catching a gold sell. Me personally, I didn't take it. It didn't line up with my my bias, but it did give a sell. So there she is right there. She did give a decent sell. You know, again, what do we have? We have in an area of interest, we have a 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive. In the 3rd drive, you know, it's the typical, for me, it's my typical Frankfurt sweep, right? I mean, you see, there we go. you can see, what do we have? We have Asian price action. We have we have that Frankfurt. So you have 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive, right? Price coming down. There's your Frankfurt, and then London open, and then the break. That break confirming the distro coming right back into the 50% of the entire UTAD. So pretty clean entry. And then, of course, the re-entry was even better. The re-entry, you could see 1, 2, 3. Here's your creek. What do? We break the low, coming right back into the 80%. So, you know, there was definitely some decent moves on this. Again, for me, just, I didn't trade gold. I'm still in silver, just waiting for silver to come up to my next sell area. So we'll see how it pans out. But that was everything we took last week. Some decent moves. I'm going to be looking, you know, going ahead. Again, I'm looking for continuations on CADJ, right? And, you know, you can kind of see, just following CADJ on the order flow side. What am I waiting for? Well, I'm anticipating a reaccumulation. I want to see a new high. All right, we get a new high. This becomes my slingshot. This becomes the extreme. Look for schematics out of that to ride her up, right? See how cold. Yep, you know it, man. Yeah. I'm not in that gold. So can we go over current market structure with SPX? Let's see, with and where we are at with what you were seeing. Yeah, I mean, we're in the area to look for the buys. So I'm just not looking for buys until I get some kind of clear indication that buyers are coming into the market. I honestly think we're just going to go sideways this week with the indices. So, but we'll take a look at it. Yeah. Yeah. So CADJ, this is kind of what I'm waiting on, right? Yes, you can see I've got it marked up as a distro, but there's one thing that's missing on this distribution, and it's a weakness, right? There's no weakness, right? We have absolutely no weakness. What we're doing is just tracking higher, right? So we're still in a bullish market, especially even on the order flow. So CADJ, looking for those buys, Chef JPY as well, right? You know, waiting for, I kind of wanted to see us come a little lower. Price had some other opinions. And, you know, at this point now, what I'm going to be waiting for is, you can kind of see order flows back in the bullish direction, right? So what we had here, we had a really nice, clean little accumulation. That accumulation gave us a complete market cycle, right? We came back into accumulation here. And then what do? We make a new high. So because we made that high out of this price action here, we get a schematic in here. I'd be interested in taking buys. If not, right, if there's no schematic, I'm just going to let it be. You know, I'm still holding sell or buys from, I don't know, back in September, October, November. So I don't mind waiting for price to give me, you know, the proper indication to get into buys. All right. EG. So EG, you know, EG, I laugh at EG right now, man. So I ended up taking some buys last week, ended up breaking even on them now because of today's move. However, when we look at what today has done, we have a confirmed accumulation. So yes, we are in the area, right? We are in the area for me to be looking for buys. So if today, and you can already see like what it's doing, if today we get a accumulation that confirms itself, I would be looking for buys, right? I would be looking for some kind of, you know, in this case here, let's just say that, you know, Asian session opens up and, you know, we get a sweep, we end up breaking structure. I'll be looking for buys, right? The line in the sand for me on EG is obviously the spring, right? Like we trade below here. We trade below here. What do we get? You know, what would this become if price trades below right here? Anybody know? Well, no, we're already in a bearish market. Trust me. I mean, just look at the intraday. We're in a bearish market. Listen, I'm holding sells all day long on this sucker, right? I'm in sells from, where am I in sells from? I'm in sells from here. I'm in sells from here. Oh yeah, from up here. So we're in a bearish. Absolutely, it's a redistro, right? So just look at this. I mean, how many times have you guys heard me talk about EG? You know, rest in peace to all the people trying to buy EG and all these failed accumulations. We're just going to add this one up. And I'm pretty confident in saying that if this one fails, I think we're going to confirm the higher time frame distro. So what I'm going to be looking for is, and just look at it, right? So when we look at EG, right, let's just say hypothetically we break, right? Let me clear out this real quick. Boom. Okay. So let's just say hypothetically we break the low. All right. What's our point of interest? What are we looking to do after price? After price does this. Oh, hold on. Yeah, there we go. After price does this and breaks, what are we looking to do? Right? What's our next step? Well, for me, I mean, listen, all day long, I am selling out of that all day long. All right. Because now we have a new order flow. We have the continuation move, right? This is the redistribution, and this is your shakeout. So without a doubt, and I haven't even looked because I'm not going to waste time until it actually happens because it's EG, so we'll have time to do it. But you know, just looking at what price did right up here, right? I can tell you that this will be my focal point right there, right? That'll be my focal point. So I'll be looking for that. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, exactly. Continuation move, play the redistro, and we'll just keep taking this down, you know. And you know, like I said, I was very keen on playing this. I was hoping to get into a distro out of this, but now we just if we make a new redistro, I'll just play out of this one, right? Just continue playing the continuation move until price tells you no, you know. That's how I'm going to continue to play EG. All right. Man, EU, bro, EU is a mess. Nothing about EU that I want to do right now. So EU, of course, I'm still waiting. I feel like I've been waiting forever. I've been waiting since the beginning of November for us to get back in here. You know, I really hope we do get up there. You know, I hope this does trade into this area here because that's where I want to sell it from. I don't want to sell it from anywhere else. However, much like EG, guess what? When we break through the ice, right, and we break this low, this right here now becomes my shakeout. So any pullbacks into that area, I will play it, right? So like right now, I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at. We got the ice. We got this big old hoopla going on here. Nothing that I want to really attack or play out of. Yeah. So, and yeah, I mean, it potentially, I'm looking for sells. I know I'm not looking for buys on it. So yeah, I was kind of hoping that we'd come back up so I can hedge something out of here, but it doesn't look like we're going to see that. We talked about GU, right? NZDCAD and ACAD. Listen, I mean, I know it's a sore subject among some people. My bad, but listen, this flipping order that I'm sitting on, where is this thing at? This thing is now at 420 pips in profit, right? So really, really clean entry way back when in November. It's at a 1 to 162. Now that we have made a low, market cycle accumulation, we've reaccumulated, and now we have a distribution into a redistro, into a new low. This to me is where I'm waiting, right? That 61 minute, that limit order is set for me, right? I have that 61 minutes set in there. Now, because of the stupid, because of how big the stop loss is, I am going to play a distro out of it. But if we can get something, right, we can see that this is the distribution that has invalidated this thing here. I know somebody, I don't remember who, somebody was looking at an accumulation out of this. And for me, no, there's no way, no reason why I'm looking for a buy out of it. Not in a bearish market, right? So at this point, if we come back up into this area, right, into the distribution, I will take a limit out of, not a limit, but I will take a order from a distribution out of it, okay? What's the longest trade I've held? Well, I know it used to be gold. Gold I held for like 160 something days. It was a gold sell. But right now, yeah, I mean, CADJPY might be the longest one I've ever held. So yeah. Could you make a quick analysis from a blank chart? I mean, I could, but I don't. I mean, yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be quick, so it'll be quick. Hold on. Okay, sorry, my daughter was texting me. Yeah, I'll do a quick breakdown on something. Yeah, no worries. Actually, you know what? Here we'll do. We can do USD Mexican. That'd be fun. Yeah, well, I'll do something. But yeah, longest trade I've held, I think it is CADJPY now. I think CADJPY, because I'm still holding. I know I don't talk about it much, but I'm still holding. I am still holding this order right here. So from down here. So, and that was in March. So we're almost on a year, that I'm holding that sucker. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out. All right. So NZDCAD, again, pretty simple. I'm just going to be playing out of, this is now my new leg, right? So I've got a limit order that I'm going to set here. This is the slingshot that caused the new low, right? So we get price in there. And then of course, this is my order flow leg, right? So this is the recent order flow. So I'll play out of that. Yeah, so I've got, 1, 2, 3 areas that I'm looking at. I'm only looking at sells, just pop up to the daily and give a peek at what NZDCAD is doing. And yeah, this thing is in a bearish market, right? Where am I looking? I'm looking to at least come down into the 50% of this, if not the 80. I've been talking it for a while, and I'm pretty convinced we may even see a new low, right? We may even see a new low just because of how price is really walking itself down. So there's no reason for me to close any of the NZDCAD cells I'm in. Is that, yeah, it's the COVID spike. Yep. Yeah. So that's what I want to see us come down to. You can see I kind of have the 50 and 80 marked up on it. Yeah, there you go. So that's NZDCAD. We talked about USWIS, right? Talked about USWIS already. Talked about UJ, what I wanted to see with it. And silver, man, silver is just, silver's a shame, dude. Like I'm still holding the sell, and I feel like I've been holding it forever, but it hasn't been that long. It's been like a month. The problem I have with silver is we never made a new low. You can see we made equal lows, which whatever, no biggie, just another target, right? But what I wanted to see is I wanted to see price come back down or come back up into like this area here, and man, we're just taking forever. Like I thought you could see the accumulation. I saw some ice. I thought, okay, this is it. This is going to be the drop. We're going to come back. Nope. Psych. We kind of just fluttered around, and now we just made a new high. So order flow momentarily is bullish on this, which, okay, no biggie. I'm still waiting a ways to get up into this area, but I feel like it's just taking forever and ever and ever. And I don't mind on my personal account because commodities that aren't charged swap fees on my personal account. But man, I just noticed on my prop firm account, I noticed the swap fees I'm getting charged on this thing, and it's big ouch. That's all I'm going to say, man. The swap fees are ridiculous on it. So I'm hoping this makes its move sooner than later, because and there's going to be a point where I'm no longer going to want to hold this open because it's costing me more money to hold it open. To confirm my entry for a limit to be set, do I just use a boof as a confirmation, or do you wait for a break of structure on a previous leg? All right, so Man, it depends. Like, are we talking out of a schematic or are we talking out of a structure point? Because if out of a structure point, yeah, boof doesn't mean nothing. It needs to be structure for me to put a limit order on a schematic. Um, so I need, ooh, um, so I just need a break of structure within the schematic. So I don't care about a boof within a schematic. I just need a structure point. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's the structure within the schematic. So whichever high created the spring, that's the high that I need. And it's not like the high within order flow. It's whatever, whatever the structure point within that box, right? How do you know that order block will hold and trade will be valid? Do you have any rules about that, or what about when trade does not reach order block and reacts from imbalance? Um, all right, so I don't trade order blocks, but whatever you want to call it. How do I know it's going to hold? Because if it doesn't hold, we've have a change of momentum. So I only trade out of structure. I don't play order flow. If I do play order flow, it's only in a trending market. So, and if order flow breaks, then I go to structure, right? So if your higher time frame is bullish, your intraday is bullish, your lower time frame is bullish, your order flow is bullish, and I take a buy out of order flow and I get clapped. Where am I waiting next? Slingshot, extreme of lower time frame. That's it. So it's a game of numbers, Um, the smart money strat. Yeah. It's all good, man. No worries. Yeah. So, yeah, again, going to, what was it? US dollar Swiss franc, right? How did I know this was going to hold? I didn't know it was going to hold. For me, it was just a calculated risk because I know if this doesn't hold, right? If this doesn't hold, where are we going? Right. Well, I know we're going down here, right? I know we're going down here. So, or I would need to wait for us to go back in the right direction. I would need to see a order flow break back to the upside and then start this whole thing all over again. So it's just a calculated risk, but it's a structure point. So that's why the limit's there. All right. So that's everything I'm looking there. Now, I know I talked about NZDCAD, man, ACAD as well. And for everybody in my boat that missed this flipping entry right here, man, dude, this thing is sitting at a 1-60 almost. 315 pips in prop. Is DR on? Dude, I kicked myself. Is he on? Hold on, let me see. No, he's not. Dude, oh man. Yeah, I kicked myself. DR sent me the chart too on this, man. I was bent out of shape. So anyway, yeah, listen. ACAD, we're in a bearish market, right? I mean, without a doubt, bearish market. Distro played right into supply that created this low. We've broken intraday. We are just making lower highs and lower lows on the lower time frame. Nothing about this says buy me, right? Nothing about this. So, what am I waiting now? I mean, if you guys remember, I've been bearish on ACAD for a very long time, ever since this move right here. Remember this move, and then waited for the distro, came into 50% of like that 410, made a new low, waited for the distro, got that, made a new low. I feel, it's like a broken record, right? Over and over again. Waited for the distro in the area of the extreme of the lower time frame. Now, what am I waiting for? Make a new low. I mean, we're talking peanuts at this point. I think it's like 3 pips away from breaking the low. And when price distributed, took out that demand area, this was that limit order, not the limit order, but this was the distribution from last week that I know a couple people were looking at, man. And I kick myself. Like I had the limit, I had the alert, and I blamed this on TradingView, man, because I had the stupid thing. This thing happened. The entry came in at 12:50 p.m. my time, which prime trading time. I had the alert. I had everything set, but for some reason, it just didn't fill me. And I kicked myself now because this thing just went on a tear. So, what am I looking for on ACAD? Just like NCAD, play the continuation move. If price comes back into this distro that's controlling order flow, I'll take a distro out of it. If price comes back into this area here, I will take, and there's a smaller, lower time frame distro that occurred in here that we just showed. If we come into this entire range, so like, what's my area? My area is anywhere in this, right? So, this is my area for looking for a distro. Price comes in here, I'm pulling the trigger and taking it lower. Oh, you did? Awesome. Awesome. The R to R's are insane. Oh, no, bro. This 1 to 59 ain't crazy, man. You should look. What was the video? When was Chef JPY? You got to look at that video, man. Chef JPY was insane. I think it was at a 1. I don't know what it was at. I mean, obviously I'm not at full volume on it. What is this thing on? This thing, let's see. It went up to 2708. It went up to 2708. So, oh yeah, right here. All right. So yeah, this is my biggest trade I've ever taken, which was this right here. So I'm holding 2 orders on it. It was a 1 to 125, pretty modest, and then a let's see what this one was, a 1 to 682. That's what she's at. 1 to 682. $50 risk I threw on it. So yeah, not too shabby. Yeah, no, this is by far, I framed it. I screenshotted, where is it? I screenshotted the seconds time frame entry that I took back from April, May, I think April. Yeah, I have that screenshotted. But yeah, congrats, man, on catching ACAD, man. Yeah, I'm glad somebody else is in it, because I'm bent over the fact that I didn't catch it. I watched it. I was right there. I just got tied up. All right, so GA, I'm looking for buys on GA as well, right? I'm bearish on the Australian dollar, bearish on the Kiwi. So what am I looking for? We can see bullish momentum coming into this, right? We've broken order flow, we've broken the significant high over here, right? You could see we've broken structure. So obviously now, if we do come back, right? If we do come back and tap into, like, say trade into this drop right here. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be looking for buys. Obviously, if we come back down into the extreme, I'll be looking for buys. But before I can look for buys from the structure point, you got to play the order flow. So this is the only time I like to play the order flow. And, what am I looking at? Well, follow your market cycle, accumulation, reaccumulation, the distro, see, do we build anything in here? If we build something in here, pull the trigger, right? If we don't build something in there, then let this thing come down to structure. I'm perfectly content taking 300-400 pips on GA, right? Do you see my future? If it's clear, you see futures with it. Yeah. Listen, that Chef JPY, man, that took a lot of preparation. I did, when I started, that entry came in, and this is something that comes back to organization, right? Like, this was something that happened on September 20th. But when did I start preparing for that trade? I started preparing right here on April 23rd. So I waited this entire time for price to come back to my entry, 150 days, right? That's what I took it out of, right in there. So, good. Yeah. Listen, market site, if you can understand structure and you implement market cycle with cause and effects, I'm telling you right now, and when I measure success, I don't measure it in winning percentage, because I'll tell you right now, my winning percentage sucks. I'm a 40-50% winning trader. That's all I am. But I can lose a ton of trades when I'm catching, 1 to 30s, 1 to 40s and all that. So yeah. And it's it's so much less stressful to trade like this, in my opinion, because yeah, there's a lot of waiting around, but you know, you know very quickly whether or not you're right or wrong. You know, there ain't no drawdown. There isn't sitting in a ridiculous trade for weeks, just bouncing up and down, bouncing up and down. So yeah, exactly. Less noise. You're 100%, man. All right. So yeah, GA, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that buy right out of order flow, and it lines up right there with GN, right? You can see, what do? We had the distro. Distro came into an accumulation, into a reaccumulation. And ideally, what I want to see is I want to see price just trade back into this box. We get price just slowly trade back into this area here. Yeah, I'll be looking to take those highs, right? And the R to R will be worth it. You know, let's say even if you get in on a 6 pip move, you know, you're talking about 180 pip move up to these highs. So it's definitely going to be a minimum of 1 to 10, which is what I need to get into a trade. All right. What's my thoughts on NCAD? Really? You're kidding, right? No, you're kidding. Right? I went over NCAD. You kidding me? I went over NCAD. Right there. I'm looking for sells out of these 3 positions. This is going to be order flow, my slingshot, my extreme. That's where I'm looking. There you go. All right. All right. Cool. All right. Let's dive. So GN and GA. Yeah. Dude, I thought I spent like 5 minutes on NCAD. All right. So GA and GN, I'm looking for the buys, right? I'm also looking for buys on GJ. All right. I'm looking, you know, if we look at order flow, right? We're looking at order flow. All right. Yes, I agree. We are in a distribution. But again, we have no weakness, right? No weakness whatsoever. And until we get weakness, I'm not going to be like adamantly looking for sells on this. So what do I see? I see that we have traded, right? Because this is the lower time frame extreme. We have traded into that, and we have a massive sign of strength. So for me, I'm not looking for anything down here, right? I'm looking to play order flow. And right now, order flow is this right here. So if we do come in there, right, order flow plays for me require a schematic. So if we come in there and she gives me a schematic in New York price action sitting right here, I'll take the buy. Okay. I'll take a buy. Yeah, no worries, man. I know it's late over there. I know. Yeah, so I'll take a buy at a New York price action here, but it's got to give me a schematic, you know. So I'm sitting here, I'm looking, you know, there's about a 15 pip range I want to see it come into. And, you know, you can just see like it's just walking itself down. So ideally, I want to see something like this, right? Maybe we get the typical Frankfurt sweep. London Open takes it higher, get a little entry right here, and we take it up. That's what I'll be looking for. All right. Does what have to be New York? Does the entry have to be New York? No, but this is New York price action right here. So New York swept, right? New York swept all of this shenanigans right in here. So this was your shakeout. So for me, oh, my bad. There you go. Yeah, for me, where does your shakeout come in? Your shakeout for the reaccumulation occurs during New York price action. So, you know, for me, I want it to be either London or New York, right? If it's an Asian shakeout, I could care less. I'm actually, I'd put some money in that it's going to get swept. So, are you more profitable in type 1 or type 2s now, man? Let me ask you a question. If you've been on, and maybe you haven't been on a lot of the Zooms with me, but, dude, I despise type 2s. I want nothing to do with the type 2. How many of you heard me say that unless it's a type 1 on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you won't see me take a trade on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because I can care less about type 2s, man. Yeah, my winning percentage is horrific with the type 2 or type 3s. type fours, but I'm a little more cautious with type fours. Like I just don't need a break of structure. I need an entire break of the trading range with a sign of strength and all that. Yeah, man. If it ain't clean, just change the screen, man. Yeah. I was thinking GA was bearish from the weekly time frame and got a sell triggered. You got a sell triggered. Oh boy. All right, let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see what you got. So, hold on. So that's the from the week. Okay, but where's your? All right. So, all right, let's break it down, right? So you took a sell out of this, right? What's your higher time frame? If you're looking for a sell on higher time frame, right? Where are you looking for that sell from? Right? I mean, I agree with you. I'm bearish on it as well, but I'm bearish on it from up here. And like if we look, hold on. Let's see. Let's go 1 hour. So just look what we see here, right? So price, I was really waiting for price to come in here. This is where I wanted to buy from, right? Actually, I take it back. Where I really wanted to buy, I had this damn limit order set right here forever out of this low. But when we look at market cycle, you have your accumulation that causes the break. And after that, it's just a series of reaccumulations, right? So this for me, after trading into that area of demand, is what is maintaining. Out of that, do we have any kind of significant break? No, for me, this is all just order flow. So when I look at it from this perspective, right, we've broken this high, right? We've broken this high right here. And yeah, I mean, this could play out for you. I mean, if you're looking just to take it down here, because this is the first area I'm looking for the buy, where I really want to see if we can buy out of, is I want to see if we can trade back into this here, or if we can come into our extreme. If we can come into our extreme, that's where I'm going to pick it up from. But yeah, I mean, I'm not, what'd you have it on the 30-minute? For me, there's nothing to take an entry out of. You're bullish. Not only that, but you're taking out of Asian price action, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. So yeah, you got triggered on Asian price action is what you got triggered on. And so you're calling that a break of structure. So why was that the break of structure? So let's look at it. Hold on. Yeah, why was that the break of structure? Give me a second. So you're saying because it broke order flow, right? Because of this, but just keep in mind this is your entire order flow. Because that's what caused this right here. Yeah, I mean, if it works out for you, great. For me, it's already going against a lot of it's going against a lot of my trading rules. Asian price action entry, you're looking to sell a bullish market on that little break. I'm not saying it's not going to work for you, but I couldn't take that trade. Yeah. Because like I said, you're in it, you're protected. So who cares? I mean, you're what, 50, 60 pips in profit. But yeah, for me, there's absolutely nothing for me to play out of that. I'm going to be waiting here for the buy, specifically right there. That's where I'm going to be waiting. If you just look at, if you want to really break down what GA is doing, right? If you want to, as The Rock used to say, you want to smell what The Rock's cooking, you want to smell what GA's cooking here, man. This is where she's at. We get really, really clean price action. you get your distro, right? Get your distro, Creek, and look at the accumulation that happens. And then there is the old London sweep. Bam. So if I was pretty, that right there is where I'd be looking. That right there. So I'd be pissed if it comes back in there, but hold on, let's see. Does it come back in there? I hope it doesn't come back in there because that's where I want to buy it from. No, it doesn't come back in there. Good. Yeah. So this is where I'm going to be waiting. This is where I'm going to be waiting right here. Yeah. I like that price action in there. It's only the slingshot. You know, if we come back that lower, that's, you know, it is what it is. If you give me 100, if you give me 100 marks in trading, how much will you give? What? Wait. If we give 100 marks in trading, how much you will give to, oh, wait. Okay. To psychology, risk management, tradable strategy means pattern, etc. So yeah, I mean, I'll tell you right now, like, I honestly couldn't tell you. I mean, I could tell you that mindset and psychology is a huge part of it, but how do you get to a point where your mindset and psychology is on point to be a profitable trader? Well, you practice it, right? Like, you know, do you think a pilot a pilot gets up in the air his first day flying and he's like, oh man, this is like, you know, I'm free like a bird, this is easy? No. I mean, there's a lot of hours in the simulator that go into it before he even gets off the air, you know, into the air. So, you know, risk management, yeah, risk management is pretty much everything. Risk management's what keeps you coming back day in, day out. You know, trade management, I think, is also significantly important. I think once you learn your strategy that you're going to trade and how to implement it, and you understand, I mean, risk management's easy. Listen, you just follow the rule. You know, if you're going to risk 0.5% on a trade, if you're going to risk 5% every trade, if you're going to risk 0.25% every trade, just risk 0.25% every trade. Like, you don't need to learn risk management. You know, you just need to abide by it. You need to, you know, you need to follow that rule. When it comes to trade management, now trade management is probably the hardest thing you need to do. You know, trade management, understanding, you know, when to partial out, when to hedge, when to, you know, when to close your position, when to start stacking positions. You know, I mean, do I have the answer all the time? Heck no, man. You know how many times, like, I'll try to stack a position, you know, take 2-3 losses on it, and then I'm like, what am I doing? And just let the thing ride out. And I'm like, I should have just stopped at the first one. You know, or, you know, maybe I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I should really stack a position, and I miss it. And they're like, ah, you know, maybe I should stack another position. Oh, and I missed that one. You know, yeah, I mean, I don't get it right all the time, you know, but what I do is, when I don't get it right, I always go back and I run through it, you know, back test it. And I'm like, all right, what should I have done differently? How should I have played this? You know, and I make a notation of it, you know, and I make sure that I try not to make that same mistake over and over again. You know, just think about, listen, the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same, you know, action over and over and over again, and you know, expecting a different outcome. Listen, if you're just taking loss after loss after loss, or if you're in a trade and you're up in profits, and then you look a couple hours later and it's a big old fat break even, and you just keep doing that over and over and over again. You know, I call it, you know, we in well, I call it the OODA loop, man. You just, you know, you're just stuck in that whirlwind, and you need to make sure that, you know, trade management for me is extremely difficult to master. You know, I work on it every day. You know, I work on it every time I look at my journal, every time I look at charts, and I'm like, all right, so how can I manage this better? What can I do? Where can I hedge? How can I, you know, if I'm in a very extremely trendy market, I don't want to take volume off. So I'll take my partials out of hedges. So that's kind of how I look at it. When you get the chance for, yeah, man, I will. Well, what's your monthly return percentage? No, I mean, sometimes I'll hit like 20%, but normally it's in the teens. You know, it's anywhere between like 14, 17%, somewhere around there. I don't take a lot of trades, man. You know, I don't live on the charts. I mean, if most of you guys look at it, man, like I might sometimes only take like 8 trades a month, maybe even less. So yeah. I'd say this, when you have a large account, you don't risk a lot. You know, I mean, I know some people that do, but I personally don't. I'm perfectly happy with a 10% return on my account. You know, that is enough for me to do whatever I need to do with it. So, yeah, yep, exactly, man. Study your losses more than your wins. Absolutely. So anyway, that's why I'm looking with the pound stuff. Listen, oil, man, oil. This thing still hurt me right here. Where's this stupid thing? This thing still hurt me right here. That thing right there. That was travesty right there. And then this morning I was looking at this, I was really looking for the buy. Just didn't want to do it. So, it is what it is. Sometimes you don't get these mitigations. So I'm still bullish on oil. And if you look at what we've just done, we've just broken this high, right? We've just broken this high. So, what do we see? We saw price come back into demand, make a new high, come back into demand, make a new high. What do you think is going to happen? Price either come back into our slingshot or come back into demand, make a new high. So, for those that aren't aware what's going on in the US with oil, just hit buy my market anywhere with a small leverage, and chances are in the next 6 months you'll be in really good profits, because oil is nothing about oil is bearish right now. So, all right. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at there. And well, let's dive into some indices, man. So we'll do SPX first. So let's man, there's a bunch of shenanigans on here. Hold on. So what do we see on SPX? I mean, for me, it's pretty simple, right? We have price that made a new high. Where did that high come from? That high came from this low, this area of demand. And I guarantee you, I haven't done it yet, but let's just see. Let's see. So we know that we had this high. All right, there we go. So we know we had this high. We know that this was clearly the mitigation. Right? We come back past 50%. There's an accumulation that happens in here, and then we make a new high, right? So where am I looking for price to come and trade into? I mean, I've been waiting for a very, very long time for price to come back into this, and we're sitting right in there. So this is where I'm going to be looking for a buy, right? I'm going to be looking for a buy, but it needs to give me the buy. And you can already kind of see, like, I've kind of boxed it out already. I'm waiting. I'm very eager to see what we look like tomorrow morning, right? Because if we get an accumulation here, all day long, man, I'm taking this, right? If, you've got your climax, right? The test doesn't give me a lot, but it's towards the end of the session. So, if this is going to be my test, maybe another test here, and then give me that spring. Give me the spring, break, mitigate. That's my entry, right? That's where I'm going to be taking. So, but I'm only going to be looking at it from a schematic standpoint. All right. I'm not looking for, like, I'm not selling from here. If I'm going to look for sells, where am I going to look for sells from? Right. I want to look from sells from this area here, right? That caused this low. That's the only real area I'm going to be looking for a sell. Where am I looking for buys? Yeah, we're in it. We're right here. All right. So that's kind of my thought on SPX. When we look at, let's go up here. Yeah, when we look at what we're doing here, I mean, we are right there. Okay. All right. So wait a minute. Reword that, because Mike Amy of your rules doesn't make sense, bro. I know you got to translate it, but what's the you talking about my stop loss maximum? If you're asking about my stop loss maximum, so I don't have a maximum stop loss, right? Because I'll take like a 12 pip stop. Heck, I'll even take a 40 pip stop if I have to. But it's got to be the R to R. So to my first target area, I need to be at least a 1 to 10. So if I'm taking a 10 pip stop, right, and my first target area needs to be a 1 to 100 or 100 pip move. maximum of trades per day. I don't have a maximum of trade. I have a maximum loss. Yeah, I have a maximum loss. So for me, if I lose 1% in a day, I'm done for the day. So that could be 4 trades, that could be 8 trades, that could be 12 trades, depending on how much risk I put in, so I have a 1% loss per day, and I have a 3% loss per week. So if I lose 3% in the week, I shut it down and I'll pick it back up next week. I have a little early vacation. So let's see. What course do you suggest to study what strategy? Mine? Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I could tell you the way I did it, right? So, I joined, many of you guys know I'm still part of IM. I joined IM, went and learned a couple of strategies there, but then really kind of dove into Zach McDonald's session, where he's the first one that I kind of learned Wyckoff from. And then from there, I'm still part of IM, but me and my training partner decided to do a mentorship with an actual, institutional trader that, I'll tell you right now, was worth every penny, but it wasn't a cheap penny. I'll tell you that. It was definitely an investment. Let's just say that you definitely could have got a decent car for the amount that we paid. But that's kind of what I did. And then from there, just developed my own little rules and a lot of back testing to really build up my confidence in the strategy. So, that's what it takes. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. I'm not saying that my strategy or the way I trade is better than anybody else's. I'm just saying that it fits me. It works for me. It gives me, I have all the confidence in the world when I'm taking my trades, win, loss, or break even. So, if you reach your maximum loss per week, what is your game plan for the next week? The same game plan it was the week before. Yeah, I go back. I'll look at why I took the losses. What were the losses? Make sure I journal them. Make sure I screenshot them. Make sure I take notes. I always want to find out what I didn't see, and then just go back to the drawing board. I got my big board. Throw up what what I'm looking at. What my the first thing I always do is I always have my pairs that I'm going to throw on my primary watch list. Like, what am I actively looking for trades to get into, and go from there. What are my points of interest? So I'll tell you right now, I haven't lost 3%. I've never lost 3% in a week. So not since I've been a full-time trader. Yeah. Early in the beginning, yeah, I've blown some accounts. But yeah, I've never gotten to the point where it's 3% for the week. So I have hit the 1% for the day, and yeah, I just shut it down, make sure I journal everything, and then tomorrow's a new day. Let's see. Do you reduce your risk until you recover what you lost? Do I reduce my risk? No. It's for me. That's the whole reason why I trade such a reduced risk in the beginning, like the 1/4%. People look at me crazy when I say I only trade a 1/4% risk. Yeah, no, I don't. My risk is assessed based off of the chart, not based off of an emotional reaction because I lost a 1% the day before. So yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Yep. No worries. Let's see. I have a big problem is trade management. Sometimes I get very good entry, but I can't manage it. I think I should work. Yeah. Where honestly, where you really dive into trade management is, work a demo account and, because I'll tell you right now, hedging was one of the hardest things I ever had to learn, okay. Cause you have a bias. You're like, man, I'm bullish. And now you're trying to tell yourself, but wait a minute, I want to sell. So, yeah, trade management, very, very important, but you want to have, and this is why organization is so important for me, because before I even get into a trade, I can tell you already where my first 2 take partial areas are going to be, where I'm potentially going to be looking for a hedge, where my overall target is, and then how I'm going to, work future entries or stack positions in. Like, you want to have all those answers before you even get into the trade, because when you're in the trade, now you're making emotional decisions. And that's the one thing I don't do is I don't make emotional decisions, right? Everything is a black and white decision, where if I get into S&P, right? If I get into S&P and where's the first area I'm going to be looking for buys out of this redistro? Where's my second partial area? It's going to be right up here. How am I going to stack? Well, if we get an accumulation here, right? How am I going to stack? Well, I better see a reaccumulation in the making. So if I get a distro and price comes in, boom, I'm looking for an accumulation here. Once we do this, I'm going to be stacking entries off of this and just working it up and keep doing the same thing over again. Right. So all those answers, like you want to have that, I call it pen to paper. You want to have that all in your trading plan. You want to know, like I know exactly how much partials percentage wise I'm taking at every key juncture point. Right. I know, and it's percentage, not dollar amount, because, I may put a $500 0.25% risk on one trade. I may only do a, 0.16%, $125 risk on another. So it's all based on percentages for me. So, yeah, you got it, man. Am I a funded trader? Unfortunately, I still am with FTMO, man. I'll tell you this. Every minute that passes, I take less and less trades with my FTMO account just because I'm so disgusted with the fact that it causes me more work to try to have to go in and delete orders that are pending because of news coming up, or orders that I really want to get into, but I have to close out because it's the weekend. Yeah, I'm to the point where, yeah, it is what it is. My fib. What about my fib on SPX? What about it? Can you show how you're measuring and what frame you were measuring? What, this fib right here? This one right here? Yeah, it's just this last push right here. So that to that. Yeah, that's their manipulation. Why not use the FTMO swing account? Have you looked at what the leverage on the FTMO swing account is? Yeah, I'm still with the prop trading for a man. Yeah. So why are you asking why am I not using the swing account? Dude, yeah, I'll tell you right now, my personal account, Awanda gives me a 1 to 50. And ask anybody that I trade with, I complain daily about how stupid that is and how I miss out on certain trades. So yeah, it's pointless to trade a 1 to 30 leverage. Yeah, but I get a 1 to 200 on TPT and I can hold over the weekends. So yeah, that's why. Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather do the 1 to 200 than the 1 to 30. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, that it is what it is. I mean, like if you have no other choice, it is what it is. But I'll tell you right now, those of you guys that don't trade with reduced margin and, reduced leverage and have to worry about margin, you're the 1 to 30 is going to kill you, and I don't know if you guys have paid attention to certain like currencies and certain certain assets that you trade. But I can tell you, like, so for me on a Wanda, like JPY crosses are 5% margin requirement, right? Pound pairs. Oh, I guess I did that wrong. Pound pairs, right? Pound pairs, 7%, right? 7%. NZDCAD is an 8% margin requirement. So I'll tell you right now, on a 1 to 30, that's like me trading on a typical stop loss that I'll do. That's EU, EU, and maybe like UJ. That's it. And I'm maxed out on margin. Done. And depending on, I don't know the answer to this, but I can tell you on a Wanda. So if I'm at break even, right, and I'm no longer at risk, it doesn't relieve the margin requirement. So, I actually have to take partials in order to alleviate or to open up available margin so I can take more trades, So yeah, no, forget that crap. Let's see. Why doesn't everyone use TPT? What, I mean, for the most part, like, because FTMO is a well-known and it's been around for multiple years. So, it's, why do people buy Mercedes instead of just buying a, cheaper BMW? you know, because they want the Mercedes logo, you know, they want when they go to the restaurant and they give the valet the key, they want the Mercedes logo, not a BMW logo. Come on, man. You know, so why the leverage? Why is leverage important? Oh, yeah, because that's what essentially that's the times, the amount of time, not times, but the multiple of money that you're able to trade with that's being allocated by your broker. So yeah, it just, yeah. But anyway, so that's what I'm waiting. I mean, this is kind of what I'm looking at for SPX. Don't know if it's the same thing you've got, but yeah, listen, hold on. We're in a bullish market. We're in a bullish market. So yeah, I mean, do I feel that we eventually need to come back into this? Yes, absolutely. And you know, I was right there waiting for this thing to just fall off a cliff. But until we break, right? Until we break, I'm still going to continue to look for those buys, you know, so I've got to look for a buy here. I'm not looking for a sell. And same thing on US 30, right? Like you could see US 30's got a little bit longer to go, right? I want to see it trade into here. But if we follow suit, right? If we follow suit, we know that we made this high here, this being the reaccumulation slingshot. And if we just mark out that entire push, right, you could see that we've just crossed into the 50% range of it. So, you know, can U30 come in here, accumulate and make a new high? It can. You know, I could tell you I'm not looking for sells from down here. I don't sell low and buy high. So we're not at the area that I want to do that at. All right. But that's what I'm looking for indices. You know, for me, there was just nothing to play out of this morning. You know, I wasn't really trying to do anything with this. You know, we came, here's market open right at 9:30 and it just collapsed. So nothing that I wanted to play out of. And, you know, unfortunately, like SPX, I was looking for just like a short little scalp sell. You know, you could see I was looking in this box and here's my alert and this stupid thing. The breaks, comes within a couple of points and then just collapses again. So yeah, I do feel that we're just going to go sideways for a while. I think they're going to try to fluctuate and figure out what they're going to do with inflation here and go off of that. Yeah, man, have a good one, dude. Enjoy. Do you suggest some fund form for swing traders? Because I am a swing trader. What do you mean suggest some fund form? What do you mean? You talking about like funding for your first as a swing trader? I mean, yeah, I'm pretty much a swing trader myself. You know, I like to use TPT. Yeah. With TPT, like FTMO, it's a 28-day cycle. So, you know, you essentially have to close out and invoice them every month. TPT, you don't, you know. So am I going to go over crypto? I'll go over a little crypto. Yeah, I'll go over a little crypto. I mean, I'll say like nothing honestly has changed in my crypto world. You know, I've been cost dollar averaging in. I've been going on a little shopping spree. So I've been buying some stuff. What is the break point for you? Is it just that low where you are now for the 50%? What do you mean for what on US 30? The break point? No, I mean, right here. Look. So, I mean, I was looking at this and yeah, this ain't happening. So what's holding structure right now is this, right? So if we do that, now I'd be looking for some sells, right? Now I'd be looking for some sells. So yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm hoping, man, I'm hoping we get up to 32. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we make it to 32K? I'd be so happy, man. Yeah. Yeah. You know, could we still, I mean, I'm still right here. I'm still waiting right here. This is where I want to see. Could we come into this? Yeah. I mean, we could realistically, it could be that right there, right? Anything in here is where we can come down to. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everyone and their mom would be flipping out about it. So they're already, if you go on YouTube, man, people are already talking about like the bear market for crypto and stuff. And I'm like, how are we in a bear market, man? Look at the damn leg. Look at this. How are we in a bear market? You know? So yeah, it is what it is. TPT means Yeah, it's just an Australian prop firm. It's called the Prop Trading Firm, TPT. So yeah, they're like my Forex funds. They're like FTMO. Yeah, just type in TPT, Australia or something like that. So on SPX, yeah, for SPX to be bearish, yeah, it's got to break that structure low. So it's got to break that low. Yeah, no, it is. It is. I mean, listen, I'm a crypto miner too, man. And some of these mining people are just flipping out, man. They're getting, I mean, I'm all about it. I'm like, bro, some of your GPUs, some of your ASICs, man, I'll buy all your mining equipment. I'll put it right in my garage. But yeah, I'm looking for this Ethereum. I'm big into Ethereum. So, we're right in the area that I wanted to see the buy. Could we see 2000? We could. I honestly don't think we're going to see it. I think at this point we're gonna go sideways for a little bit, and I think we're gonna see the push up. Ethereum 2.0 is coming out. Proof of stake is going to happen within the next 90 to 120 days, something like that. So, I think with that coming out, you're going to see Ethereum kind of start to take over. Would I margin trade Bitcoin? Like, would I personally margin trade it? No, man. I mean, I used to margin trade all the time, crypto. Honestly, like, I just don't have the time. And that's what it comes down to. I don't have the time. So instead, what do? I just, my dollar cost average, and instead of, instead of margin trading it, I mine it, and I just make money no matter what on it. So, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm personally not going to margin trade it, but you can. I mean, if it shows you an accumulation, take it. I mean, it's a line in the sand. If we break below 30K, now we've entered a bearish market, right? Because we've broken structure. So, yeah. But I'm looking. We're gonna see. Look at the lower time frame. You can see the accumulation in here. So we've accumulated on Ethereum. We've accumulated on, what was the other one? Was it ADA? Yeah, we've accumulated on ADA, right? 80 Cardano's actually looking pretty healthy, man. Look at this. Came right into, so I had 2 orders off the 50 and the 80. Came right into it, triggered me in. What have we done since? We've broken this high, right? So Cardano's actually looking pretty healthy. Cardano's looking healthy. What's the other one? Was it Polkadot? Was it Polkadot? No, not Polkadot. Yeah, I mean, we're still in some pretty viable accumulations. Was it maybe Matic? No, Matic's just on a tear, man. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Oh, wait. It was Solana. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Solana is actually in a pretty healthy area. I personally didn't take anything out of it, but I mean, long story short, just look where we're at, right? Where this is, right? This is that reaccumulation that creates this high. So when you measure this leg, here's 80%. So we're in the 80% of it, right? And when we come into that 80%, what do we see? Well, we see a type 1 accumulation, right? Type 1 accumulation. And if you measure that, here is your 80%. And yeah, I mean, we tapped pretty damn close into it. So, this is an area that I'd probably be, if I don't have Solana, that I'd probably be looking to cost dollar average in. And of course, man, if we do this, I'll tell you, me personally, if we do this, yeah, I'll be looking to cost dollar average some more. My let's see, average cost dollar average on Solana is like $28.32. So for me to buy at 135, like it's a gut check, but we are in the right area. And if we do break the high and confirm, the reaccumulation, something like that, yeah, I mean, I'd be looking to play out of this, maybe come back in and go higher. So yeah, death to crypto. Absolutely, man. Let these people flip out. Phantom. I don't own any Phantom. But we are let's see. Let's go look it on Binance. Yeah, Binance. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, see the problem I have, like I would play order flow on it, but honestly on this is what I'm waiting on. So when that happens, yeah, right here, man. When that happens, I'm doing that, you know. So that's what I'm waiting on. Can I look up a stock? Yeah, what's the stock, bro? Yeah, give me the stock. So yeah, Phantom, that's what I'm looking at. I mean, I'm still looking. I'll tell you what, keep Ergo on your radar, man. So Ergo, just to give you a little background, right? For those of you guys that don't know about crypto mining, Ethereum right now has like over a terahash, which is a lot of freaking hash going into their mining. When Ethereum no longer has that hash rate, Ravencoin, Flux, Ethereum Classic, these are all going to be taken over, right? That's where the hash rate's going to end up going into. But Ergo, I think you're going to see some resurgence from Ergo. I think Ergo is really going to give a nice little push. You can see the compression coming into Ergo. The project itself is actually pretty useful. It's pretty cool. And just getting up to all-time highs, right? I mean, we're talking about a 350% increase. So just keep your eye on Ergo. I'm actually starting to mine Ergo. I threw a couple cards on the Ergo on Ergo itself just to start mining it and make a little Ergo as we go. But keep an eye on that. And I'll tell you, just from an like a node standpoint, if those of you guys don't know about nodes, go on my YouTube, jump on the crypto session. I dropped a Flux video, and Flux is actually going to be pretty affordable for people that want to run a node. And hold on. There we go. For people that want to run a node. And Flux has the potential, man, to really run. You know, I mean, I'm pretty happy with how Flux is going. Flux has a lot of good usefulness in it. And I'm going to be looking for this to, you know, essentially make a new high. With Flux right now, you need 10,000 Flux to run the node, right? Sometime in the next 90 days, they're going to move that down to 1,000 Flux to run your own node and 500 Flux to run a pool. So you can go in with, you know, realistically, probably just over $1,000, and you can get a percentage of all the Flux that is pretty much mined, making a decent, I mean, it's going to be a decent return. I'll tell you, for every block that is mined, those that are in the 500 pool, you're going to get 7.5 Flux for every Flux that is mined. So even if you only get one a day, say it's at $3, you're looking at anywhere between $21 to $25 at $3 a coin is what you're going to be making a day, right? Just by staking 500 Flux. So, I mean, it's still worth the investment, and that's one block a day. And I'll tell you right now, I think right now I mean, obviously when that happens, you're going to see the difficulty rate going up, but I mean, flux happens. There's a block mined everything like something like 3-4 minutes. So have you heard about the news of El Salvador losing millions off of BTC? Yeah. It's all just hype, man. Yeah. Yep, exactly. So whatever, it's all good. FAMI. What is, all right, let's see. FAMI. FA. Well, I'll do this and then I'm gonna give it. So it's on the NASDAQ, huh? Let's see. Boom. Oh my goodness, bro. My goodness. Is this when it was listed back in 2018? So what do you want to know about this? It looks pretty bearish to me, man. Yeah, this looks pretty bearish. You've seen from all-time highs, you've seen that's only a 97% drop. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about it. I personally don't know anything about this company, or I guess, is it a fund? Maybe it's a fund. I don't know anything about it, but there's nothing that I want to do with it. Yeah. I mean, I would say for me to, if this was ever something that I would want to get into, the first thing I would need is I would need to see that get broken and then come back in and see an accumulation. That's what I would need. That hopefully that, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you about it. Yeah, I'll wait to see if you have any other words. If not, I mean, that's pretty much it, unless anybody else has anything else to look at. But I'm the week's actually pretty looking pretty good. I mean, I've got a lot on my radar. Last week was pretty nice. Thursday, Friday were the big winners, like always. So yeah, I'm in no rush. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I know it's a short week. Monday was the US holiday. So, we'll see how it kind of plays out. But what's the requirement for mining flux, like on a GPU or for running a node? Yeah, for a GPU, you can run pretty much anything. I think right now the DAG file is only like 2 GB, so any 2 GB graphics card or higher. Like I don't even know. Shoot, I have a ton of 1050 Ti's mining it. So I mean, really, really cheap cards. Um, let's see. Yeah, I've got all of these are mining flux. So all of these right here. So I got a bunch of 1050 Ti's. I got some 1063 gig cards that are mining it. Um, yeah. Yeah. And then I've got what else I've got a 3060 Ti doing it too. But this is just on my test bench. So yeah. But to GPU mine it, yeah, you just need a card with over 2 gigs of memory RAM. Um, awesome, awesome. Yeah, guys, listen, enjoy. Thanks for hopping on, and I'll catch everybody next week. See you guys in the Discord if you guys have any questions. And yeah, man, you got it. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, have a good week. Remember, just trade your plan, man. Trade your plan. So awesome. I'll see everybody later, man. Have a good one.